print out from the computer. So a lot of times what I'll do, because I'm not very good at lettering, and I blame it on arthritis all the time, and I do have arthritis. I'm not making that part up. I do have arthritis, but I'm just not good at lettering, and this is my lettering cheat, and I'm going to show you how to do it. You probably already know, but we're going to do it anyway. All you need is some graphite paper, tracing paper, whatever you want to call this, transfer paper, and a stylus or a pencil or a pen, something with a point that you can use to trace. So I want to get this where I want it, and I've kind of bent it around my canvas where I want it to sit. But I think I'm just gonna go the extra mile and cut that down to size. Hey Patsy, how are you, love? Hey Samantha. Oh my girls. This is my Art Shattered family, my Shattered Circle family popping in. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this because it's getting on my last nerve. And then we can just tape it down and we don't have to worry about it wiggling away. So I just printed that off on the computer. I don't remember exactly what font it was, but if you're in the Shattered Circle, I will check that out and remind you and post that inside the circle, because if you're in the Shattered Circle, you get all the things. Just like yesterday, I want to show you my cute little Santa Claus I did on Southern Adornments page. Is that not adorable? My cute little Santa gnome. So if you're in the Shattered Circle, you get you get the tracer and all the colors used in this project for free, just because you're a member. You get all the things for free, all the challenges, all the good stuff. Yes. Hanging in, oh, Patsy, Florida is a disaster. My friend who lives in Destin, her whole yard, well, the water's starting to go down now. I haven't talked to her since I got back from physical therapy. But her whole yard flooded like 5 deep, and she has chickens and a dog, and she had to put the chickens on her porch because the water, and it probably ruined their vehicles because it flooded their cars. So yeah, it's terrible. So comment link if you want more information about the Shattered Circle. We'll get that over to you because we want you to get in. I got to get something. There's goo on my stylus. We want you to get in before tomorrow because we're going to close tomorrow at noon. Lost fences and trees, yep. We're going to close tomorrow at noon, or not at noon, at midnight. See, I can't even talk. We close tomorrow at midnight, and we won't reopen again until March. So we don't want you to miss out on all of our goodies. So I'm just tracing over these letters. They're kind of 3-dimensional. They're thick and thin in some areas. So I'm doing both sides, like the Y is super fat right here. So I'm doing both sides just like it was, you know, we were printing. So, and then we're going to paint it because my lettering, I don't know if I told you this. Bianca, when you're in the Shattered Circle or in the Facebook group on the Shattered Circle, go to the search feature and search the word gnome. I have not put the Christmas gnome in there yet from last night, but there are the 2 gnomes that we did here. The Halloween gnome and the sunflower gnome are in there. Just search the word gnome and you will find them. They're tracers and colors. So I'm just tracing around my little cheaty cheats. Try not to push too hard with the side of my hand so I don't transfer black from the paper on my canvas. Now I forgot where I was. Crazy pants. See, that's what happens when you talk and work at the same time. All right. So this takes a minute, and it obviously takes longer than if you could use a marker or one of those, what do you call them? They start with a P. I can't ever remember that word for some reason. Obviously, this takes longer, but if you're not a good lettering person, this is a good way around that, because I am not. I start writing with one of those markers, and then it starts going downhill or uphill or whatever. The stylus, Bonnie, came from Hobby Lobby over in the art department where markers and all those things are. That's where you'll find this stylus. Ooh. So we're almost done. I know it takes a minute, but we'll get there. Yes. So that should be transferred, but before I move my tape, I'm gonna pick this up. Thanks for sprinkling, Susan. I'm gonna pick this up, I'm gonna flip this over and make sure it all transferred, and it did, and it looks really good, and that's gonna make it super easy for me to, I'm gonna pull that off so it doesn't stick all over everything. It's gonna make it super easy for me to letter that now. Throw this away, and all I'm gonna use is black acrylic paints, and hang on, let me find the right, look at that mess. Find the right, I think that'll do. That's a liner brush, a number 3 liner brush. I think that will do nicely. Where do you live, Bonnie, that you don't have art stores open? Will they not let you, will they not deliver or let you curbside pick up? Even when everything was completely shut down here, they would let you curbside pick up. Dollar Tree has a stylus with a rubber grip. There you go. Gotta love the Dollar Tree. Okay, so I put a little black paint. I'm gonna move this over to my left just a smidgy. And I'm going to put some water on my plate with the black, because I want the paint to be, see how it's kind of thick and it holds its place? I want it to be kind of runny, kind of like ink almost. So we're going to add some water so it's a little looser than that paint pile. Now I'm gonna just roll through and I'm gonna start painting. Yeah, the websites are awful, I know. I know. So now I'm just gonna use my cute little paintbrush to color in the lines. You can see that it's like 3-dimensional lettering. So I'm just gonna paint in the lines just like if I was coloring in a coloring book. So I'm just going to start. And this goes fairly fast for me, because this just is how I've been doing it for a very long time. So once you get the words traced, it goes fairly fast. Yeah, the Walmart here doesn't have anything. Plus, Walmart here, you don't really want to go in. But you can check some of the places for canvas particularly. I normally buy my canvas at Michael's, but only if they're having a really good sale, like their 70% off sale. Otherwise, I buy at Dick Blick, because I buy in mass quantity. And the more you buy from Dick Blick, the cheaper it is. So I just buy, and I actually have an order I'm waiting on now. Oh, speaking of orders I'm waiting on now, while I take a drink, hang on. The glass came, my big old order of glass. Most of it came today. I've been waiting on it. They've been saying it was coming, saying it was coming. It finally did show up today, so I'll be updating my website for glass this evening. So I'm super excited about that. It was starting to make me really nervous. I hate it when that happens. So I'm just following my letters. See, it's not quite juicy enough. I need a little bit more water. Either that or this canvas is super textured than normal. It's probably my paint though. So there's one word, my. Yes, the Walmart near me, last year I think, right before I moved here, one of their employees, who was mad, got fired or something, walked in and just started shooting folks. Crazy people. People crazy now, aren't they? So we'll start on Redeemer. Never been a huge fan of Walmart anyway. When I lived in Georgia, it was really the closest place, the only place I could go within, 20 or 30 minutes that I could get like kitty litter and, stuff like that without having to go to Athens. Bonnie, I painted it white. It was white already, but it had some boo-boos on some of the corners. That often happens when you order canvases and, when you buy them in the store. Sometimes they'll have some Mars and stuff on them. So what I did was just paint it white because I want it to be fresh and white. But you could paint it any color you want. That sort of thing. So yeah, I just painted it white so it would be fresh. I should have mentioned that earlier, sorry. I'm going to turn this just for a second. There. Sometimes it's harder to do when you're straight up and you need to move your arm around. Yeah. So we're going to get there, but this is just the easiest way for me. And if your handwriting's not good or you're not really good at lettering, this is an awesome way to get it done without ruining your project. This canvas is super textured. It's probably a Michaels canvas. Sometimes their canvases, when you get them, are really rough. But usually when you put a coat of paint on them, they chill out a little, but this one is a little more textured than normal. So the glass we're going to use is green, because the last 5 or 6 I've done have been some shade of blue. So I decided I was not doing a blue one, even though that's my color. Decided to do a different color. So we're doing green, and I think you're gonna like it. It's really a nice green. A 4 foot by 5 foot canvas. I have a commission, Liz. Was that Liz? I have a commission on a huge canvas too, and I have to build the canvas, and I haven't quite got there yet because I've had physical therapy all week, and it's supposed to be like 76 tomorrow for the high. Nancy, I don't gesso my canvas because they come, if you order them from Michaels, they're already gessoed. They're already finished out, so you don't really have to do that. So I never, unless I stretch my own, which I haven't done in a bazillion years, I just put a coat of paint on and go on with my life. It's really not necessary if they are pre-primed canvases, unless you just want to. Some people, that's just how they were taught, and they do it no matter what. And if that's the case, go girl. Trying to clean up my lines a little. My hands are, I don't know if you could tell, my hands are a little shaky still. I'm going to blame it on not just the arthritis, but the fact that they tried to kill me today. I literally had to tell my physical therapist to stop. I was like, you need to stop or I'm going to hit you. You know, it's an automatic reflex when they're trying to break your leg off. It's like, all right, you stretch me like that one more time, my reflexes might kick in, right? Oh. So I'm trying to watch the comments a little bit too, guys, as I'm going, but doing something this tedious, it's super hard to do. So if I miss a comment, I feel certain that some of my girls, my little art shattered family girls, are going to answer that question for you, but somehow it gets missed. I will come back and answer. So don't feel like you're getting ignored, because that is 100% not the case. It's just hard to do this part. It's hard enough to do this when nobody's watching. It's hard to talk and do it at the same time, so. Redeemer is done. Looks really good. Yeah, when you're oil painting, you gessoed. I haven't used oil paints, oh my God, probably since I was 20. And that was a few minutes ago, just so we're clear. Just so we're clear, it's been a hot minute since I was 20. A long, long, long hot minutes. And I wouldn't be 20 again for anything. Ugh. I need a little more water. Starting to run out here. So you want your paint, if you're lettering this way, you always want your paint to be a little runny like ink, so it flows really nice. Like that. Ooh. We'll dot that I. Got super quiet in here. I think the air went off is what it was. The air conditioning here is super loud. So when it goes off, it suddenly seems like a deafening quiet. And the kitty cats are not up here trying to get in and fussing at the door. Oh, ooh, I gotta stretch that arm. Almost there though, almost there. And the good thing is, by the time I'm done, the top will be dry and it won't take the bottom but a hot minute to dry. So we'll be able to move right along and I'll show you what we're doing. Ooh. One more letter. Isn't it pretty? And I can't remember what font it was. Lemon Tuesday, I want to say, but that might not be right, so don't hold me to it. Do not hold me to that. But it's real easy to just go on to your computer, open up a Word doc, ta-da! Open up a Word doc, type out whatever it is you're wanting to put on your canvas, and then start scrolling through the fonts and until you find one you like, and then just blow it up to the size that'll fit on your canvas nicely, and voila, there it is. Lettering cheat. Okay, so this is a little wet, so while I show you something real quick, I want to show you how I make my cross. Okay, so I've already cut these, and I've already honed the edges so they're not sharp. And what I use after I cut, what I use to soften the edges is just a knife sharpening stone. Or you can use a brick, or you can go outside on the curb and just do this, and it'll hit those edges and soften them so they're not sharp. And how I do that, I'm going to cut just 1 or 2 strips for you so I can give you a quick lesson on how I do it. I'm just going to do 1 or 2 strips, I think. Where's my thingy? Hang on, I left my thingy on the other side of the room. Ow. Ouchie. Now this takes practice, guys. You're not going to do this on the first try. It probably took me a good year before I could cut a nice, good whole sheet of strips. And there is, inside the Shattered Circle, we teach you how to do this. There are videos on how to cut strips. There are videos on how to cut leaf shapes, how to break glass, all the things you need to know. Inside the Shattered Circle, we have all those videos. This is a L square. It makes your glass slide. Did you not have a little, I took mine off because I don't worry about it sliding, but it should have little black things in them. But if it's sliding, you need to put a little more pressure on, or you can just do it on a towel or something. So this is a scoring tool, and this is my square. This grid keeps the grid keeps the little bitty cut pieces, the little tiny little slivers off your table, and they all fall in this grid. So I'm just going to score a line. And that sounded terrible. Let me dip it in my oil. This cutter, who asked that? Teresa, this cutter here, I've probably had 5 years. So it's the blade that matters, but this cutter is also awful about leaking oil, as most of these plastic ones are. Did you hear that noise? That's how you know you have, yeah, that's a good idea, Liz. That's how you know I have a good score. You're going to hold your blade straight up and down and pull, put pressure on this so it doesn't slide around, and pull down all the way. All right? So now I'm going to tap that so any debris glass just falls right off. And then I'm going to take my running pliers. Let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take my running pliers. I'm going to go ahead and nip off this whole piece right there. So you're going to take the pliers right down at the bottom, right on your line, and squeeze. And you'll do that here, squeeze. Look, see, that happens. It happens to the best. It's just this glass is a little textured, so it makes it a little harder. So let's do this. Voila. So we use these pieces anyway. Don't think this is ruined and it's garbage, because we use these pieces as well. So that's how you cut strips. That was a brief, dirty little tutorial, but we teach you all about that inside the Shattered Circle. We'd love for you to join us. Comment link for more information about our Shattered Circle. Okay, so I've already pre-cut my green pieces, and you'll see that these are also pieces that broke in the middle, just like the blue one we just did, but I like to use them anyway, especially on my crosses. All 3 of these pieces are broken pieces, but we're going to use it, and we're going to line up our cross kind of where we want. What I'm going to do is get my glue, and I'm going to put just 2 little dots on one piece, and then I'm going to sandwich that together, and that'll kind of keep those 2 pieces stuck together while we work. Now I'm going to, there is a much more comprehensive tutorial on the Shattered Circle membership page. So that was quick and dirty. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on one edge of the 2 glass pieces that I pushed together. And I am going to figure out where I want it placed. I want it halfway between the edge and this, the word Redeemer. So I'm going to figure out exactly where, and then I'm going to push it down onto the canvas. We're going to push it in, let it sit for a second, sing a song. Okay, so now we're going to do our horizontal pieces. And I like to do, I'm not going to use that piece. I like to do 2 different sizes. You can see I have 2 short ones and 2 long ones because I like to mix them up a little. I never try to make them all the exact same size. So I'm going to do the same thing, just a dot of glue on the shorties. And then I'll sandwich it to the long one. Sandwich it to the long one. And then we'll do the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back side. Not much, just a few little dots. And I need to scoot that over to accommodate my piece. And we'll do this side. A little bit of glue, just a couple of little dots, hardly any. And then we'll put that there. So now we've made a cross. Super cute. So you can see one side's longer than the other on our little horizontal piece. So while we sit there we're gonna let that dry for 30 seconds or so, and I'll show you what we're gonna use. So I brought a little bit of crushed glass. This is green reflective. It is so pretty. And all that means is instead of being clear, translucent green glass, is that it's a little mirrored on one side. So one side is mirrored and the other side is clear. But it's really pretty, makes a nice statement. And while we're letting that sit for a few seconds, I'm gonna grab my nugget plate. This is my fun little plate of goodies. And I'm gonna find a little fun something. Oh yes, look at that. I like to just put a little something that coordinates with the glass color. Look at that, hang on, low power mode. A little something that coordinates with the glass color. And look at this piece. Is that not pretty? It's got a little bit of green, a little bit of gold, a little bit of purple iridescence to it. And these are called glass chips, and they're just random pieces of broken glass from a glass blower, and I sell these on my website. And it's like I think it's a 2-ounce bag, and usually it's 10 to 15 pieces depending on their size and weight. And literally we scoop it up and put it in a bag. Scoop it up, put it in the bag. So we're gonna put that on our center in just a minute. Somebody made a sad face, and I don't know why. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is just grab a handful of this green glass. And here's what I like to do. I don't like to place it and be really particular about where this goes. So I will literally just get some in my hands, and that's probably not quite enough, and put my hand over the cross and just drop it. And whatever may be, may be. Whatever will be, will be. Something like that. So I think it wasn't quite enough, so I'm just gonna get a few more nuggets and put them, get some smaller pieces, thank you. Just put them, I like it to kind of go down on one side a little, all the way down. So we'll add a few little smaller pieces. Oh, was it a relaxing face? I thought it was a sad face. I was like, don't be sad. No sadness. We can't be sad. So now, sometimes if I'm doing a lot of these and I've used a little bit too much glue, the glass won't dry fast enough, or the glue won't dry fast enough, and it starts to like wiggle around. And I just use like a little paint bottle, and I'll set it, if it's kind of starting to flow this way, I'll just set my little paint bottle right up against the glass until it's dry. And that way it doesn't fall over while it's drying. I must have a drink of orange soda. Ooh, losing that voice. So last thing I'm going to do is take my little cute little glass nugget and put it on the center. So I'm gonna do a little glue right in the joint of the vertical and horizontal, and I'm also going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of that little nugget so we make sure it's really stuck down good. And look how good that looks. Let me find my top, and then I'll hold it up I'll hold it up. So look. Yes, Karen, everything is. Everything's on replay. So that is our nugget. Is that not gorgeous? Let me wiggle, wiggle so you can see the color, how iridescent it is. And just like that, we're finished except for resin. That one wants to be naughty. So for resin, I am going to get my gloves. Where are my gloves? Not prepared. These gloves too, I don't know where you get your gloves, but I buy mine at Harbor Freight, and it's the cheapest. Yeah, I need to do that. Because by the end of the day tomorrow, my voice is gonna be gone. Harbor Freight, I think it's like 12 bucks for a box of 100. It's the cheapest place I've found. If you found them cheaper than that, let me know, because I go through some gloves. I've been trying to save them. If I don't get them too terribly dirty, just wipe them off with a wipe, an artist wipe, and save them. But sometimes they're not redeemable, right? Unlike us, they're not. So, okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is put my blocks up under my canvas, because you always want to elevate. Yay, Bianca! You always want to elevate your canvas off your surface so you don't stick your canvas to your surface while the resin's drying, in case you get drips. I don't over resin, so I don't get drips too much, but occasionally I do, so we're gonna always elevate to eliminate that possibility. Cheryl, I've never done that, and I don't know if you can resin over vinyl lettering. If somebody has, let me know. I would think you could, as long as the resin doesn't resist over, you know what I'm talking about? Like if you put oil and water, how it just resists, they resist each other. As long as it doesn't do that, I don't see why not. If anybody has done that, let her know. So I'm gonna mix up a half an ounce of resin. I'm not 100%, I'm trying to see if I have something that needs resin. I don't think I do, so I don't wanna over resin, but I think I'll go ahead and mix an ounce, because I can find something to resin. So I am going to take my pen because Carolyn says she does it all the time. There you are. I knew somebody did. So this is a clear little measuring cup, and it's hard to see the marker lines once you get started. So I am going to mark my half ounce line with a marker. That one's already marked, so that I know where to stop my resin. Teresa also has, with no issues. There we are. So do you guys who are using what is it called? My brain, I swear to you, my brain is a goner. Vinyl lettering, do you have little machines that do that? Lisa, they are disposable, but if you want to keep them through 2 or 3 projects, you can just wipe them out, just like you would wipe off your Just like you would wipe off your little mixer, your little makeup mixer, you could wipe out your little cups too. Okay, so I am going to grab my resin. So I use art resin, and this is all I've used for like the last 5 years, and that's for a reason, because I sell my art, and it has the lowest rating for yellowing, and you have a Cricut. I don't want my art yellowing, so I use this, but it's also made in the USA, and it's non-hazmat. No BPAs, no VOCs, no COV. So that is why this chick uses it no matter how much it costs. It's not, well, probably all resins are terrible for you, or bad for your health. Any chemical is. But some of the resins on the market, you need to have a respirator mask to use. Trust me, I know. I used to do it. So I'm going to pour, what is in there? A 1/2 ounce of hardener in 1 cup, okay? So I'm just going to pour it in. When it gets close to the line, you want to slow your roll because it's going to grow a little. So we'll stop right before the line. Let it grow. Yeah, they do carry this at Hobby Lobby. They had it at Michael's for a while. I'm not sure why they stopped using it. All right, so there is my hardener. So in this cup, I'm going to use my resin. So same thing, you're going to pour close to your line and then stop, so that you don't go over your line. Whoa, that came out fast. Perfect. And now I'm going to, since it's a 1/2 ounce of each, I'm going to pour into a separate cup. This is just one of those clear Dixie Solo 8-ounce cups. And what I do with these when I use them, so I'm going to pour these 2 parts that I measured into this cup, and then when I'm done with this, I'll leave it sitting here and let all the resin dry in here, and then when I mix in my measuring cups again, I'll pour into the same cup, because I'm not using this cup to measure, just to mix, so I can use this 10 times if I want to. So I'm going to use my little fancy facial makeup tool to scrape out the resin out of this little baby cup. Now, if you're doing bigger pieces or multiple pieces of art at once, you're not going to want to use these little babies. I use these pretty much only for doing lives when I'm doing one small piece. When I'm doing bigger art, I use bigger cups. This is a 16-ounce mixer, and I also have the quart size mixing, or the quart size mixing cups for when I do bigger art and mix more resin. So you wouldn't want to be using these little babies unless you were just going to be doing one small piece at a time. So that's what I use these for, is my lives. So we'll get all of that. Is Rima here, or anybody who can time me? Because I'm going to chitty chat. I wouldn't use a wax cup. No, I wouldn't use a Dixie type cup that's a wax cup. It's a wax paper cup. I would not use that for resin. I would suggest plastic or something along those lines. Okay. So now we have to mix for 3 minutes. So I am going to gently just stir, scraping the sides, scraping the bottom for 3 minutes, because that is the time required to get these 2 parts mixed properly. Now you don't want to whip it to death, because the faster you whip, hey Claire, is somebody timing me? Because if not, we're just going to go with it. Linda, different, oh, hang on, I'm reading something wrong. Hang on. Somebody answer Linda. There was not a stencil. We traced it and then painted it freehand. Or not freehand, we painted it after we traced it. Yeah, plastic dessert cups, yes. Those little souffle cups that you drink Jello shooters out of. No, just me? I'm the only one who does Jello shooters. Thanks, Claire. So yeah, just any of those kinds of things. And you don't have to toss them every time. Just clean the excess resin out of them, and then you can reuse them a couple of times so you're not wasting. So anyway, yeah, you could use any of that kind of stuff, but don't use that Dixie waxy cup. It's going to be a disaster. And if you have questions about the art resin or what you can and can't do, they have, right? I love Jello shooters. They have a wonderful FAQ on their page, on their art resin website at artresin.com. And they answer just about any question you could even imagine to ask. So that is a great place to go if you have a question about art resin. Love that FAQ on there. I've tried inside the Shattered Circle to hit up the most common asked questions, but sometimes you miss them, you know, different questions come up. So how many people right now with a show of thumbs up are new members in the Shattered Circle? Give me some thumbs up if you joined in the last, since Mondays, in the last, excuse me, in the last few days. Thumbs up if you're a new the Shattered Circle member, because we want to officially, yay, look at there. We want to officially welcome you. We love you guys, and we're so excited to start you on this creative journey with us over in the Shattered Circle. This is, just to explain, just to be clear, this is my Art Shattered business page. This is where I come and just play art and talk to the general public and show people what I'm up to. And I sell a lot of art off this page as well. And that Facebook page that you joined when you registered for the Art Shattered is our very private, look at all you people, love it. If you would like to be a part of our Shattered Circle where we make this kind of beautiful art all month long, comment the word link and we will send you some information telling you everything we do inside the Shattered Circle. And that will help you decide if you want to be a part of our family. Thank you, Irene. We'd love to have you. You could see if you want to be a part of our Shattered Circle family, because that's what we are, is a family. And right is the best group ever. The best group and the most encouraging women you will ever have the pleasure to be around. And if the COVID ever lets up, we're going to have a get together. We're going to have a little meet and greet or a little art weekend or something. So comment the word link if you want more information about what we're doing with our glass art over in the Shattered Circle. We'd love for you to come and join us right over there. So Claire, are we done, babe? Because it feels like 17 minutes to me. And I know I always think that. I always think that it's it takes a long time. It's the longest 3 minutes of your life. Yes, so comment link. And when we're done here, and Richard, women and Richard. When we're done pouring this, oh, did you? See, I missed it. I was running that mouth. I was doing this, wah, 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 and forgot. Yes, and Mark is coming too. Mr. West is always invited. So I am, after we're done pouring the resin, oh my God, Karen. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to cruise again. I would love that, Bianca. That would be so awesome. So once we're done here, I'll pull the camera back up and I want to show you some of the things we've done inside the the Shattered Circle. And then we'll go and I'm going to go have some supper. And I'm thinking about coming back here and having a pajama party with you guys. So let's get this resined. I'll bring the wine. Yeah, our little private Facebook page for our Shattered Circle community is the best out there. I'm telling you. Those people who are a part of our community, they're our family. I feel like they're my family. They're pretty much my family now. And I don't know what I'd do without them this past year. Between, things that have happened in my life in the last year and the COVID, I'd probably be hiding in a closet somewhere. Yeah, and Jello shots, me too. I'd probably be hiding in a closet somewhere if it weren't for the people in my community. They have really kept me going. And if it hadn't been for them, I don't know where I'd be right now. So we are putting the resin on the glass first. Make sure it's all stuck down nicely. And then we'll take what's left and drizzle it around on our canvas. And that 1 ounce, the half and half, which was total 1 ounce, was about the perfect amount for this piece. I'm going to go ahead and scrape it out. And this tool is great for that. Just gets out every little bit of resin, no waste. So I'm going to use my little handy dandy purple little applicator tool to spread my resin. Let's come over here and get this little baby side. Make sure we get all the way to our edges. So just so you know what we're doing for the rest of the year, and everything is not set in stone because as an artist, I always reserve the right to get squirrely and change my mind about a couple of things, but it's never anything that's a big deal. It's always like little things, and mostly I will add on and not take away. But Sandra, I traced them on with tracing paper, and then I painted them with a liner brush. Some of the things we're going to be doing the rest of 2021, the end of this month, I'll be doing that great big 12 by 24 Amazing Grace piece that you've been seeing all over the internet this week. That piece where it's Amazing Grace verses stenciled on the canvas and then the big cross added. You don't have to do a great big one. You could always do whatever size you want. The one I'm going to do is a 12 by 24. And we actually have done mini crosses in the past, and we've done some stenciling, but we've not done that piece step by step. So we're going to do that for our mini workshop in the Shattered Circle. So the rest of the year, some of the things we're going to be doing is the Princess Bride. We're going to do a Parisian door. We're going to do for Christmas, we're going to do a little red wagon with Christmas in it and lots of other Christmas goodies. And we are going to do, I'm like, my brain is like, well, I can't remember what we're going to do. We're doing that today. So, we're going to do an owl. Oh, lady friends are the best. We're going to do an owl. So we're doing lots of fun stuff. I'm going to go ahead and wipe my little brush off because I forgot yesterday. And 2 days in a row, I had to dig it out of my resin. And we're going to do it, Marlene. If you're not in the Shattered Circle, you better come join us. So what you would do if you wanted to reuse your little baby cups, hang on, I might have to plug my phone in, is just take that wipe. This is an alcohol-based wipe, and just get all that resin out of your cup. Yes, Shannon, we're going to do the Princess Bride. She is fantastical, and I have been holding on to her for 2 years. But I've decided that she needs to be yours. And so I am gifting her to the Shattered Circle. And we're going to do her in December. So she's going to be our going out with a bang. So yes, an owl, a bride, a Parisian door scene, a little red wagon. So I'm going to torch this really quick just to pop those bubbles. You do not have to use a torch, guys. I use this because I do massive pieces of art, okay? And I don't want to take 20 minutes popping bubbles. You can use like one of those little small creme brulee type torches, or you can use a heat gun or even a blow dryer, okay? You need to use it on high heat, low air if you're gonna use a blow dryer. But, and I'm gonna save my gloves because I didn't get resin on them. You're so sweet, Shannon. So I'm gonna salvage my gloves to use later tonight when we come back. Ugh, my hands are a little sweaty, so they're a little hard to get off. Ugh. So I wanna show this to you close up. Is that not cute? And look at the words. Now guys, these make excellent Christmas gifts.